Pro wrestling superstars have appeared in cartoon animated shows for a few decades now. That's how much pro wrestling is ingrained in pop culture, allowing a perfect combination of a larger-than-life character in the very animated world of cartoons. But they seem to be far and few between. When looking at this list of wrestlers appearing in animated television shows, and no, we're not talking about Camp WWE or Storytime, it seems like only the biggest names get the privilege of being featured. This list features an elite combination of former world champions and more who have appeared in cartoons. Number 10, John Cena in The Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. The leader of the C Nation's venture into acting didn't just include live-action films, but animated films as well. The Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles premiered in 2018, and it had Cena being announced as the voice of Baron Draxum, an alchemist warrior mutant and a foe of the Ninja Turtles. Yes, he didn't turn heel in WWE, but played one for the Turtles. He held a reoccurring role and starred in 8 episodes over 2 seasons on Nickelodeon. Number 9, Sergeant Slaughter in G.I. Joe. Many don't realize how big of a deal it was for Sergeant Slaughter to be featured in the G.I. Joe franchise. The now iconic animated show from the 1980s is based on the toy line by Hasbro, and Sergeant Slaughter had an even bigger impact on the show than anybody else did in their appearances. Presented as a drill instructor with superhuman strength, he made numerous appearances in the G.I. Joe Real American TV show from 1983, as well as the film that was released in 1987. There was a point when Slaughter was even the best-selling action figure among the G.I. Joes. Now you know, and knowing is half the battle. Number 8, Ric Flair in The Cleveland Show. In the Season 3 premiere episode of The Cleveland Show, a spin-off of Family Guy, the main character Cleveland Brown takes his friends to Ric Flair's friendship camp. Ric Flair hilariously declares that there are 3 things he knows a lot about: pro wrestling, divorce, and enduring male friendships. He had little dialogue, but it mostly involved him shouting "woo" the whole show. Number 7, Hulk Hogan in China, Illinois. The Hulkster played a prominent role as the Dean in the 3-season run of an adult animated hit in China, Illinois on the Adult Swim Network from Cartoon Network. Thanks to his starring role, he was able to get his daughter Brooke Hogan in on the action to voice several characters as well. Creator Daniel Whittenfield described Hogan as the Pied Piper when he recorded his voiceovers for the show, with a line of 3,000 people following him around. It's also worth noting that Hogan has acted in numerous non-wrestling roles in film and TV. This may actually be his best acting performance outside of pro wrestling. Number 6, Macho Man Randy Savage in Dexter's Lab. In the second episode of the Cartoon Network classic Dexter's Lab, an intergalactic character known as the Wrestler arrives on Earth seeking a competitor to equal him. It's a direct parody of the Marvel Comics character Champion of the Universe, who faces and defeats numerous superheroes in a boxing match at Madison Square Garden. The Wrestler was portrayed by none other than Macho Man, who threatened to destroy the Earth, as he called it, and did not find his equal competitor, he would destroy it. Yes, the 7-minute episode is an absolute classic, as a character named Promotor challenges the best of the best to take on the Wrestler. Everybody who is called up to face the Wrestler gets destroyed, but it's Dexter's superpowered monkey, simply called Monkey, who ultimately saves the day, not by defeating the Wrestler, but by simply gaining his friendship. Ah, yes. So much so that the Wrestler is won over by his performance and decides to spare the Earth. We highly recommend you check out this action-packed episode. Number 5, Stone Cold Steve Austin in Dilbert. Not many people remember it, but the classic comic strip Dilbert actually got a run as an animated series for 2 seasons in 1999 and 2000. In their series finale, Dilbert, who gets impregnated, bizarre, we know, has to fight for a custody battle against a group of aliens, hillbillies, robots, engineers, and a cow. It was a moving story. Who better to decide in a weird case than the judge himself? Stone Cold Steve Austin. Playing the role of himself, He storms into the courtroom and hits the slowest stunner ever on a reporter before taking the stand. This was still better than the one he had to give Mr. McMahon at that WrestleMania in Texas. Yeah, let's forget that. Although his appearance only lasted a few minutes, it was a random and incredible run-in as you would expect. He even drinks a beer and flips Dilbert off to make things better. Number 4, Hulk Hogan's Rockin' Wrestling. Yeah, we had to get this one in there. Hulk Hogan's Rockin' Wrestling is particularly interesting because none of the wrestlers are voiced by their own characters. The show comprised 2 groups, the babyfaces led by Hulk Hogan, along with the likes of Junkyard Dog, Lou Albano, Andre the Giant, Wendy Richter, Jimmy Superfly Snuka, Hillbilly Jim, and Tito Santana. The heel group is led by Rowdy Roddy Piper, along with the likes of The Iron Sheik, Nikolai Volkov, Fabulous Moolah, Big John Studd, Mr. Fuji, and Bobby the Brain Heenan. Why were the heels outnumbered? Either way, it can't be described as a product of its time as well, because the animation itself was considerably lower quality as compared to many of its counterparts at the time. It went on for 2 seasons and even featured the most random cuts into live action sequences with the actual wrestlers. Mad Maxine, the 6'4" wrestler who only competed in WWE twice, was supposed to be a woman on the heel team, but it is believed that Fabulous Moolah politicked her way into the role, for the moolah. Number 3, Macho Man Randy Savage in King of the Hill. Another memorable performance in the animated world by the Macho Man saw him in an episode of King of the Hill in 1997. He played the role of Gorilla, one of Bill's workout buddies, as they obnoxiously begin to clank the iron for everybody to see. In a hilarious moment, Savage's character is simply referred to as Diesel with no explanation, and in case you were wondering, yes, he does say, "Ooh yeah." He has to get that in. Number 2, Bret the Hitman Hart in The Simpsons. Bret Hart's appearance in The Simpsons happened in 1997, which was at the peak of his popularity before the whole Montreal thing and then the WCW thing. It's an interesting story because at first the creators of the hit show approached him with the idea of having him voice a wrestling character named the Mad Russian. Hart, however, wanted to play himself. When he came to the studio to voice his 3 lines, which he claims he did 100 times in 2 minutes, he was spotted later outside his limo signing autographs for fans for about 45 minutes. He had a memorable cameo where he purchased the disgraced Mr. Burns mansion, stating, "Ew, this place has got old man stink." Number 1, John Cena in Dallas and Robo. Apart from Hulk Hogan, John Cena is the only WWE superstar to ever get a starring role in an animated series, at least that we know of right now. He voices the role of the warrior poet, Robo, along with his partner Dallas Moonshiner, and they have a series of intergalactic misadventures. Although it was reportedly set for a 2nd season after a hit 1st season and critical acclaim, no news has come out about it coming back. Leave it to John Cena to be in something that we can't see anymore.